It's post-therapy for me. I'm getting my medicine in, and then my therapist told me that I need to trim my dog's nails is what I need to do. That I need to keep processing something that came up in the last few minutes. So I have a lot of people in my life that partook in the abuse of me, whether that be the physical or the emotional. The biggest one being physical, being done from my paternal grandfather. He's about to have another grandchild come into the world. Thank God a boy. Thank God it's a boy this time and not a girl. This is the first time that there's a child being born to the family post, me going to therapy and realizing how bad everything was and still is, and is the life that this child is going to be entering. And the baby's due in just a couple weeks, and I brought it up in therapy as though I don't want to go see the baby. I don't want to be connected to that side of the family in any way, really. And so I was asking what should I say? And then we walk through what I should say, which is obviously as simple as no, I will not be. I don't need to explain myself. It's just my grandparents would want me to explain. And because that was kind of such a simple answer, I realized that I was probably bringing it up because of other feelings around it. And those feelings are, holy shit, another child is coming into this toxic, cyclical, damaging family. And I don't know, that's what I need to process. No, that's not what I need to process. What I need to process is the fact that I'm having feelings of being a bad guy if I don't save this child. I don't even want to meet the kid because I don't. Fuck, dude. Hang on. So when I started with my new trauma therapist, I had to explain the standing of my family and explain the standing of who knows what about what happened to me and about certain people who are abusers, if they're outed as abusers, if everybody knows. And the answer to that is no. And this is there's just so much shame around the thing that I'm trying to say. Terrified of how nasty people could be about this, but essentially I had to admit that there's two young girls in the family that could be being hurt by my abuser, and that I just don't think that he does that anymore. I don't think that he did it to anybody besides me, and I don't think that he would do it to these kids. And I've always been okay with that explanation and adamant with it, but now it feels disgusting to say, and the thought that I could be wrong is just so unbelievably hard to live with. And so for the first time in my life, I'm just kind of really being confronted with these feelings of I could possibly be partaking in the abuse of somebody else because of my own fear around outing my grandfather as an abuser, as a predator. And like, I assume that people will agree that like I'm in the wrong. And that would mean that I would have to announce it. Fuck, dude, this is not gonna go on TikTok. This is too deep and needs too many cuts to go on TikTok. How do you stomach, like, being confronted with your very reasonable desire to not expose your abuser and not, like, open that door and deal with those things, especially given that it's been so many years, I mean, at least 15, but then stomach the fact that, like, it might be happening to somebody else. That's what I want to know. How do you stomach it? Because I stomached it for years by saying that there's no way it's happening to anybody else, and that, like, I protected the one other person I was worried about it happening to, and there were enough eyes on him for the next generation to be protected. But I don't know for sure. And if anything happened to them, my gang's gonna show up fucking ready to fight, apparently. Guys, chill. Let's pull up on you. No, if it did happen, it's for sure my fault. Stop laughing at everything. It's a coping mechanism that you need to get over. Yeah, if it happened to anybody else, it's for sure partially my fault. I'm partially responsible. And that's something I'm struggling to stomach, and it's coming up again through this new baby that's due within the next couple weeks, and I don't have to worry about physical abuse, but there's a real chance of emotional. And, like, am I gonna be responsible for this child too? Like, am I gonna hold myself responsible for that if he turns out rough? I don't know the answer to that. I want the answer to be no, because if the answer is yes, then obviously I should do something about it. I really don't fucking want to do anything about it, because I'm a big fat wuss. Sorry, but I'm just going to be a little bit more honest about, like, what I'm saying to myself and stop sugarcoating it, and, like, I don't endorse what I'm saying, and I am so sorry if this is triggering to anyone, but there's going to be, like, a little bit of self-deprecation soon. And I think the fact that a new baby's due to the family in the next couple weeks is, like, just bringing up these feelings. But so, what do I do? what I do then, I guess, would be like acknowledge the feelings, right? So I feel like I need to go to the hardest one first, but I was a kid. And I did what I could to protect myself and those I cared about. And I did ask for help. And I was dismissed and told that, I was probably misreading it. And I even went as far as telling my mom. I didn't want to, but it came out one day in this really awful situation. She found out what I was saying was happening to me, and I was just kind of offered. God, these are like biggest secrets ever coming out. I don't know what concoction made me verbal today, but I could prosecute, or I kind of needed to like forgive and like get past it. There's a moth, and I have a total fear of moths, and it's like not being chill right now. It's like super fucking not chill. Hang on. So I told multiple people, and like, if I was safe enough to like be able to make that choice of like do what you want, then I trusted that the adults would make sure it wasn't happening to anybody else. And that's valid, Summer. That was valid of you as a kid. And you're not responsible if anything happened. You're a victim. I have to sit with that one person. And yes, you can feel terrible if something did happen to anyone else, but it's not your fault and you're not responsible. Additionally, because you have told people, because you asked for help, you are not responsible for alerting everyone. You are not responsible for putting everything out there and facing something that you're not ready to face. To save others when there were adults that could have done this and could have alerted those who needed to know about the safety concerns. Continuing on, you're having big feelings about a baby coming into a family that you know can be really toxic. And you've been having really big feelings about family and about your trauma story. You've been having really big feelings about protecting others and justice in this lawsuit. You've been feeling a lot of confusion around if you want to tell your story or not. And if you have to tell your story or not, and that's a scary thought, and you're projecting it onto this situation and putting some sort of duty on yourself to like save others and make up for the fact that he might have hurt others, and this just like isn't that. It's not what you think it is. It's not your job. It's not and like I have to just, and I think that that's what I needed to work through. I hope so, because kind of done. That was a lot. Thanks for sticking around if you did. Putting up with my dogs and the cicadas